Hello everyone and welcome to Bible Gilgal. Our principle is understanding the Bible through the Holy Spirit. Know the Holy Spirit through the Bible.
What if I told you there's a lost map of the universe hidden inside the Bible? And I don't mean a symbolic one. I'm talking about a literal, physical blueprint for a cosmos that is, well, nothing like the one we know today. Yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, what if the Bible actually described a universe with a solid sky, a flat earth, and, get this, cosmic floodgates? That's really the mystery we're diving into here. Because if you take a literal reading of the ancient Hebrew, the universe wasn't this vast, empty space. It was a self-contained, almost mechanical little world. A truly astonishing structure, when you think about it.
All right, so let's do it. Let's actually try and build this thing. We're going to step inside this ancient snow globe and really see what the universe looked like through their eyes, to the people who first heard these stories.
Okay, so the first thing you've got to understand is that they didn't see the cosmos as just one big open space. Nope. For them, it was more like a three-story building. The first heaven was the sky you can see, the atmosphere. Then the second heaven was where the sun, moon, and stars were, and they were literally set inside the solid dome. And way up top, above all of that, separated by this huge cosmic ocean, was the third heaven. That's where God's throne was.
So what's holding this whole thing up? Well, it all comes down to one really important Hebrew word, rakia. Now, you'll often see this translated as firmament or expanse, but the root of the word, it's all about hammering something out, like a blacksmith taking a hammer to a sheet of metal. So we're not talking about empty air here. We're talking about a solid, physical barrier.
And you don't have to look far to see it. The Bible itself paints a pretty vivid picture. Just listen to this from the book of Job. Can you, like him, spread out the skies, hard as a cast metal mirror? I mean, wow. The imagery there is just so clear, right? A hard, polished, solid dome right over your head.
But here's the thing. The ancient Israelites weren't just making this stuff up out of thin air. This whole snow globe model, it was basically the standard science of the time all across the ancient Near East. I mean, you look at their neighbors. In Egypt, the sky was the body of the goddess Nut. In Mesopotamia, it was made from the body of a defeated sea monster. But the core ideas, they're always the same. A solid dome, waters above and below, and a flat earth holding it all up.
And this model, it also gives you a perfect mechanical explanation for a story like the Great Flood. Think about it. It wasn't just a lot of rain. For a global flood to happen, you needed two things. First, the windows of heaven, which they saw as literal hatches in the solid dome, had to swing open, letting all that cosmic water pour down. And at the exact same time, the fountains of the great deep, these huge underground reservoirs, had to burst open from below. It's like a perfectly engineered catastrophe.
Okay, so let's fast forward to today, because this is where things get complicated. This ancient map is on a major collision course with, well, pretty much all of modern science.
And I say that because this isn't just ancient history for everyone. For a surprisingly vocal group of people today, this model isn't some old story. They believe it's the literal, physical truth of our world, right now. Folks who believe in this literal biblical cosmology will point to graphics just like this one. They'll argue that things we can observe, like ocean currents or jet streams, form these perfect circles. And, they say, those patterns only make sense if the Earth is a flat disk inside an enclosed dome. So for them, this isn't ancient myth at all. It's modern data that they believe confirms the ancient text. But on the flip side, you have the vast, vast majority of mainstream theologians and scientists, and they see this very differently. They'll call it a dangerous fringe movement that damages the church's witness and makes belief in the Bible seem anti-science.
So in their view, it not only misreads the text, but also creates this unnecessary war between faith and science.
So, how do you bridge that gap? Well, mainstream theology has a few ways of looking at it. Let's call them 3 interpretive keys that allow them to read these ancient texts without having to throw modern science out the window. And the central idea, the real core of it all, is this. You have to separate the ancient cultural container from the timeless theological message, right? The snow globe itself, that whole physical model, that's the container. But the message inside, the part about God as the creator, that's the timeless content.
So key number 1 is something called accommodation. The idea is pretty simple, actually. It's the view that God met the ancient Israelites where they were. He spoke their language using their understanding of the world. He wasn't trying to give them a 21st century physics lecture. He was just trying to reveal something about himself. It's kind of like a doctor telling a little kid that a pill is magic medicine. It's not scientifically accurate, but it gets the important truth across in a way the kid can actually understand.
Okay, T number 2. This is a big one. It's called phenomenological language. Sounds complicated, but it just means the language of appearance. Basically, the Bible describes things the way they look from our perspective here on Earth.
Here's a perfect example we all use. We say the sun rises and the sun sets. Do any of us actually believe the sun is moving around a stationary Earth? Of course not. We're just describing what we see. We're using the language of appearance. And the argument here is that the Bible does the exact same thing. So when it talks about the pillars of the earth or the corners of the earth, it's not making a scientific claim, it's just describing the world as it appears to the naked eye. And key number 3 is maybe the most fascinating of all, because it shows that even groups that are deeply committed to a literal reading of Genesis, like some big young earth creationist organizations, even they make some pretty big changes. They completely reject the solid dome and the flat earth. Instead, they choose to reinterpret that word rakia to mean expanse or just outer space. So it just goes to show, even for the most committed literalists, there's often a line where they decide not to contradict modern science. So all of this really brings us to a powerful way to frame this whole debate. It comes down to 2 totally different ways of reading the exact same ancient words.
Are you reading the Bible as a scientific blueprint for a physical snow globe? Is its main purpose to give us a technical, physical map of how the cosmos is literally put together?
Or is it something completely different? Is it more like a theological poem about a grand cathedral? A beautiful structure that wasn't built for scientific analysis, but was built for worship, to draw your eyes upward to its creator.
So there you have it, the 2 big models. The snow globe view says the ancient science, the solid dome, the flat earth, is the message. It's all literal. But the cathedral view says no, that ancient science is just the container. It's the delivery system for a much deeper, timeless theological truth, that this universe is an ordered creation made by God for a relationship with us.
And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. When we read ancient texts like these, what are we really looking for? Are we searching for a map of their world? Or are we looking for a mirror for our own, one that reflects timeless truths about who we are and what our purpose is?
We are Bible Gilgal. The video is over. May the Lord bless you all.